Problem is, most of us suck at learning efficiently. It's not your fault, though. Schools taught us to memorize facts for a test, not to actually understand or retain information. But here's the truth: memorization isn't learning. Learning means understanding, applying, and retaining knowledge so deeply that it feels like second nature. So, if you've ever crammed for hours, watched endless tutorials, and still felt like you got nowhere, you're not alone. Here's why: most of us focus on input, reading, watching, listening, when we should be focusing on output, doing, practicing, and teaching. Think about it: learning to swim by reading a book won't stop you from sinking when you hit the water. Learning is a contact sport. You've got to get your hands dirty, or in this case, wet. Focus on what matters, the 80-20 rule. Here's the first game changer: focus on what actually matters. The 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle, tells us that 80% of results come from 20% of efforts. Want to learn a new language? Forget trying to memorize 10,000 words. Focus on the 1,000 most commonly used ones. They make up 80% of everyday conversations. Same with guitar: master the basic chords before diving into solos. Nail the essentials, and everything else becomes easier. Next, ditch passive reviewing. Instead, use active recall. This means testing yourself instead of rereading the same paragraph 10 times. It forces your brain to work, strengthening your memory. Think of it as lifting weights, but for your brain. The more you lift, the stronger you get. Study smarter, not harder. Here's another tip: don't cram. The spacing effect is your best friend. Break your study sessions into smaller chunks over a week. Think of it like carving a path in the woods. The more times you revisit it, the clearer and easier the path becomes. But remember, learning isn't just about reviewing. It's about practicing, and that's why I love today's sponsor, Brilliant. Brilliant helps you learn by solving real problems, whether it's programming, data analysis, or math. It's hands-on, engaging, and, most importantly, effective. Want to check it out? Use my link below for 30 days free and 20% off an annual subscription. Deliberate practice. Now let's talk about practice, not just any practice, but deliberate practice. This means targeting your weak spots. If you're learning to draw, don't just sketch the same thing 69 times. Instead, challenge yourself to draw what's hardest, like hands, faces, or perspectives. Growth happens when you step out of your comfort zone. Want to supercharge your learning? Teach it. Teaching forces you to organize your thoughts and explain concepts clearly, which deepens your understanding. Pro tip: record yourself teaching, like you're making a YouTube video. Pretend thousands will watch, it'll push you to learn even better. And here's a fun one: engage your senses. Don't just read. Watch videos, listen to podcasts, write things down, and speak out loud. The more senses you involve, the stronger the connections in your brain. Lastly, learning doesn't have to be boring. Gamify it. Set small goals, reward yourself, and make it fun. Compete with friends or track your progress using apps. Just don't get distracted by Instagram halfway through. Oh, and don't forget the magic ingredient: sleep. Your brain consolidates everything you've learned while you snooze. So, if you're pulling all-nighters, you're actually sabotaging yourself. Rest is just as important as effort. At the end of the day, learning faster isn't about hacks or shortcuts, it's about understanding yourself and your process. Focus on the essentials, practice deliberately, and have fun. Because the real goal isn't just to learn skills, it's to grow as a person. So what will you learn next? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tips to level up your life.